everyone, I am Prerna from CAclubindia, and today we are here with Helen Brand, the Chief Executive Officer of ACCA, which is a global accounting professionals body. She is one of the few women to lead a global accounting body, and she's been holding this post since 2008. Hello Helen, we welcome you at CAclubindia, and it is great to have you with us here today.
I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you. To begin with, can you tell us the focus ACCA is placing on training accountants across the globe to make them strategic business thinkers and not just number crunchers? Yep.
So ACCA's current work in terms of our qualification is all based on a massive piece of research we did in 2016 called Professional Accountants the Future, which identified the attributes and content that employers needed from professional accountants out to 2025. So when we had that research, we set about evolving our qualification to meet the findings. And what we saw there was that employers looking for that rounded professional who can really add value in the business way beyond the numbers and the normal technical work. So we identified what we call the 7 quotients for professional success. And in there you've got what you'd expect. So technical and ethical quotient right at the heart. That's not going to go away, because even though there's automation, etc., you have to understand how the accounts are being produced. You have to understand what's behind the numbers. We have the intelligence quotient and the experience quotient, which you would expect. But then the others, vision, creativity, emotional quotient, and the all-important digital quotient. And when you put all those things together, that's quite a different view of what it is that a professional accountant will be. So we've relaunched our qualification. We're using, not just the content, but the way in which we examine, using sophisticated computer-based examinations. And at the professional level, which we now call strategic professional, we have a full case study strategic business leader. And I think within that name, you probably have an idea of what kind of accountant it is that ACCA wants to produce for the future.
What are your views on the future of accounting profession, and how accountants and finance professionals can be a driver of change in the times to come?
Well, we know there are certain, again from our research, certain pressures on the profession, regulation being one of them, and digital transformation being another. So those two very different but very important things that are happening within the profession. I think digitisation is the fastest moving of those, and what I think it means for the future of the profession is that the professional accountant is going to have to be very alert, very digitally savvy, able to make ethical judgments within a technical, within a digital context. So a lot more issues around data, cybersecurity, those kinds of issues. And also going to have those more rounded qualities I was talking about earlier. So you're not going to add value through processes that now will be automated or whatever. You're going to add value through understanding your impact on the environment of the business, how your people are being trained and motivated, how you're investing for that very uncertain future, but one that we know where businesses are going to have to be able to change and adapt. So the CFO or the professional accountant is going to have to guide and navigate the business through those choppy waters.
So how do you see Indian accounting profession evolving in comparison to developed countries? Is it adapting to global requirements, global standards?
Well, of course, India has one of the longest and most established professions in the world. So it's not, I think it's very well established. It's been great to see the convergence with IFRS, which I think puts the Indian economy very much at the heart of what's happening in the global profession, and makes it so much easier to trade and do business, and for investors to understand what it is that's going on. And now there's independent oversight and regulation too of the profession. That would be another common global best practice element. And so great to see all those things happening, which of course be expected in such an important global economy with the eyes of the world on it. And the stronger the profession is, the greater the credibility of the economy and the trust and confidence that everybody can have investing here.
Yeah. So what prospect does ACCA brings for an Indian student to become globally competent?
So ACCA has based its syllabus on international financial reporting standards and international standards in auditing since 1996. We were the first to adopt integrated reporting into our syllabus. We have members and students in 180 countries around the world. Our governing body is drawn from many countries around the world. So I guess what I'm getting at here is that there's global or international DNA in ACCA and in the qualification. And I think for employers and for individuals who want that global perspective, Professional Accounts of the Future, the research we did, employers time and again asked for cultural sensitivity and global perspective of part of what it was they wanted to see in people who are working for them. I think ACCA is one of the qualifications that can give you that edge and make you work ready and I'd say change ready. So the competencies that you'll be drawing on, ethics and professional skills, our module, right through to emotional intelligence, they're not one-time things. They're things that equip you to deal with any changes that might come through in business, whether you're working here in India or in positions you might achieve all around the world.
That reminds me, recently you've introduced some changes in your curriculum. Can you tell us something about it?
Well, I mentioned strategic business leader and the computer-based exams. The other thing I just mentioned, but I think it's very important, is the ethics and professional skills module. We've tested ethics alongside all the other examinations since 1997, as well as embedding it in the other exams. But this is an enhanced version of that. So it's an interactive online module where we test individuals' ethical judgment and the professional skills they would apply in the workplace by putting scenarios in front of them and asking them to describe how they would respond to those scenarios. It's very interesting. One of the things you learn is there's no right and wrong. There are different answers you can give, but you have to understand why you've applied that ethical judgment or skepticism or whatever professional skill it is that you've used. And in order to become an ACCA member, everybody must pass through all the examinations, get their 3 years relevant experience minimum, and pass through the ethic and professional skills module.
It equips, it trains the accountant for a global competency and teaches ethical and makes them a strategic thinker, basically.
That's right. Well, the strategic professional, those professional level exams I mentioned earlier, that's very much about that being that rounded value add strategic professional. And it's very exciting. I think it gives huge opportunities to the people who qualify, and most importantly, employers love it. So it's based on what employers have told us that they want, be it in the corporate sector, in firms, or in the public sector. And we think our members are going to add even more value as time progresses.
And lastly, what would be your message to the members of CAclubindia? Anything that you would like to tell us?
Well, I think it's a great time to be a finance professional. I think there is so much change happening in the business world. You can be the ethical guardian of business, which is so important to the public now in terms of trust and confidence in business. And you can be the person who helps ensure that the right investments are made and the right strategic path is taken. And that's a big responsibility, but a huge opportunity as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Helen, for this insightful conversation. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
Great to talk to you too.